Thank you so much, Brees, for jumping on and discussing your experience with my coaching program. To give a bit of background, Brees works for a non-for-profit organization that strives to make life better for community members, which is so neat. So thank you, Brees, for helping such an incredible cause over in the States. First question, what state was your ad grant in prior to meeting me?
The ad grant was non-existent. We had other clients before we had this one that were also the same type of client. And they didn't have any experience with it. So they wanted somebody to manage it and they hired us and we had to start from ground zero with this one. So a few things that I just wanted to say about what you were able to help me with. And I feel like right from the start, you were able to realize what I understood and what I didn't understand and work at the same pace and level of understanding. And I think you are a fast teacher, but I'm a fast learner. So that really worked with my style. So that's why we were able to work together so well, I believe.
Yeah, absolutely. I always get that people are like, wow, it's so fast paced. I didn't realize it was going to be like straight in for the first session. Do you remember, and I took a bit of notes before we jumped on, but do you remember spend level and performance, let's say back in like May before we started really working together?
Oh, I really don't, but if you have the notes, please share.
So I just looked quickly, but I think so back in May, and that was like before we sort of did the keyword research and rebuild. I think spend was around 500, a couple hundred a month, if that sounds about right on your end.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously like a handful of clicks, and I don't think we were tracking really any conversions on site. So there was no way to report back what those people were doing. Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. And then, so what does performance look like now? So, like during July, let's say, versus that 500, a handful of clicks and no conversions.
Yeah, so now we're spending at least 1,000 per month, if not more than that. But what I was most excited to learn was that it's not about, I mean, the spend is awesome. It's great that we have that high spend, but it's about maximizing the conversions, not just how much you're spending on the campaigns. So I think our success measurement, me being able to look at the conversions and see the clicks and see who's clicking the donation button, like that was what I really enjoyed learning.
Yeah, absolutely. And do you mind if I share a few of the conversions, the conversion performance from July? Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So in terms of conversions for July, I have one click to email. So someone who showed intent to email the organization, 7 people who clicked on the donate now button. So in the past, we were just tracking the button because we didn't have that and our platform set up for to see, who went through the conversion. 2 people downloaded PDFs on site. 5 folks clicked the register to volunteer. So we haven't been able to set up that full volunteer funnel yet. So that's
Right.
sort of 5 people entered that volunteer funnel, and then a handful of people engaged on site. So that, is a pretty good result given during May, we were spending about 500 and we didn't know what they were doing.
Right. That's
Okay,
awesome.
very good. And then what advice would you give someone who is potentially sitting on the fence or deciding whether to enroll in the program or not?
Personally, the one-on-one sessions are what did it for me. There are so many coaching programs out there that can teach you how to do it. But for me, if I don't have someone to talk to and troubleshoot, and if there's one step in there that I can't figure out and I have nobody to talk to except for maybe a little chat bar who's just going to send me to a standardized page, like that's the reason that we decided to go with you over anybody else, because I need to talk to somebody about what I'm going through.
Yeah, that's a really good point. Okay, so let's go to the next question. So, what are some fears that you had prior to making the decision to go with my coaching program? So, a lot of people sometimes say price or time commitment. Maybe they're nervous about the level of learning.
Yeah, it was definitely the level of learning. I didn't know if I was going to be so far behind and you were going to be speaking a foreign language to me, or if you were going to match where I was at. And I think you were able to do that since you've worked with people who have started from square one, and then those who understand a little bit, and then those that know a lot but just need a little bit of help.
Yeah, that's a really good one. Thanks so much. I think that's really great for a lot of folks that are potentially nervous about their skill level going into it, because I think a lot of people have a lot of fear about that
Yeah.
before beginning. So that's really good. And then last question, what advice would you give someone that's just about to start the program? They already signed their contract, they're ready to go. What advice would you give them for them to get the most out of the sessions?
Watch and re-watch the videos before their session with you. Like if you are watching the coaching program, it, that's just where you learn everything. Like if you come into a meeting and you're just like, oh yeah, I watched it, but you didn't, like you're not going to get anything out of the one-on-one sessions. So definitely make sure to watch them and watch them again. And knowing that you can have them for a lifetime and watch them even after all of this is done is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for your time to answer all of these questions. Brace, it has seriously been an absolute dream working with you. So just wrapped up, if you're watching this video and you're interested in confidently generating consistent leads with your Google grant without paying an agency, then this program is right for you. So go ahead and click the link in the description to get started.